This week on the Crude Effect Podcast, Megan Kelley, Blackface, and as African Americans, are we too sensitive? This Megan Kelley Blackface thing is, it is what it is. For those of you all who don't know, Megan Kelley, NBC Today's anchor person, correspondent, her show was canceled following, her on-air remarks about expressing acceptance of blackface, which she really didn't understand from the beginning. But she was supporting Caucasians dressing up as black people wearing blackface or makeup. She looked at it as a costume situation, just putting on makeup, making themselves darker because they're trying to portray a certain person. But she didn't understand the history behind doing that when it comes to white and black in this country. Blackface started early 1800s, 19th century, around that time. They would have minstrel shows where white actors would dress up in blackface and mock African Americans, pushing these stereotypes of darky and coon and that happy-go-lucky. That's what they would do. They would act these things out and portray African Americans. Well, at least they thought that's the way we were. And they would hold these shows, like so-called theatrical shows, and a lot of white people would come out and just laugh at African Americans. To be honest with you, I believe that her comments were innocent in a sense, where she was trying to say that we should be able to dress up like who we desire to dress up like, if they're African American, Hispanic, whatever. Like I said, I don't believe she knew how deeply rooted this was in the African American community, how negatively this affected us. I understand us African Americans as being this sensitive group of people, when anyone, especially being in this country, brought over here unwillingly through slavery and treated the way we have been treated for so long in this country, never getting our just due, never looked at as an equal, not just in this country, but around the world to a certain extent. Although it is a little different outside of this world, but there's still racist entities outside of the U.S., but I'm going to stay within the U.S. Megan Kelley didn't understand what she was getting herself into. And for her to be this public figure, she's great at what she does. She's a great host, but apparently she didn't do her homework on this particular subject, which she should have, because it cost her $25 million a year job. And it made her seem as if she's trivial to African American issues, because a few times she's come across about issues we've raised when police brutality and Black Lives Matter and I Can't Breathe, things of that nature, Black or African American pushed agendas, because I believe on some level she believes that we're just making excuses. Not all. They believe that what we're going through, the things that we're fighting for, or the issues that we are protesting, like crybaby issues or, what was me type issues. And they really don't understand. And I can't be upset with them for not understanding, because they didn't go through it. They didn't experience these things. But just from the eye test in this country, from the beginning, you should be a little more empathetic to what's going on. I've said this many times on the Crude Effect. Conversation with people, period. I don't care what race you are, you would never understand until it hits your home, until it hits your face, your situation. You would never truly understand. So, but back to Megan Kelley. African Americans, I want to say this. I love our passion for a lot of things. Everything we do, I love being black. For all we went through in this country and abroad, the fights amongst ourselves, with others, trying to prove ourselves, this continuous fight in life as an African American in this country. I love being a black man. I wouldn't trade it for the world. God knew what he did by making me a black man. Did I have a question being a black man? No. But I did question, why do we go through this? Or why are we going through such things like this? But we as African Americans, we have to kind of pump the brakes on always thinking someone is trying to hurt us or trying to, smash us or, and I understand we're very sensitive being in this country, and, we're seeing remnants of it through this police brutality, and nothing's being done. And there's no trust between black and white in this America. None whatsoever. This is why we have so many issues. This is why we draw false narratives or conclusions about each other or things when the opposite race speaks upon or chimes in on issues. There's no trust there. We have to stop as African Americans always thinking someone is out to hurt us all the time. Like this particular incident with Megan Kelley. I think her views on what she was trying to say was innocent. Dressing up as your favorite person. Some people believe there's nothing wrong with it. Others may take offense to it. But some are not sensitive in that area where they're like, I have a problem with it. Others, they have a problem with it. And she just has to understand that. So I want us to be so secure in these things like this, because We're coming into a time where people, and they've done this for years with us, they'll throw stuff out there just to get under our skin and we will bite all the time. I want us to get to a place where we're so secure in who we are because we're great like that. We are, no matter what anyone else says. I know how God made us. It's not just us, but we've always been the leaders of everything for the most part. We've had a lot of things, inventions, all types of things stolen from us in this country, and still we keep our heart clean because that's just who God made us. It's so godlike. Our hearts are so godlike. Our problem is hurting each other because it's convenient. We got to stop doing that. But let's stop being so sensitive about things when people speak upon our situation or things that we do, or how they see us. They don't understand our plight. They don't understand why we are the way we are in this country. They don't understand what slavery did. And I'm not going to blame it totally on slavery. But that's a hard thing to come from, man, when it's been passed down from generations to generations. The mentality takes time to change. And it's a large percentage of us out here doing right. But there's a percentage of us that are on the wrong path. And it's giving us a bad name. And we have to take responsibility for that. But this Megyn Kelley thing, Roland Martin had to sit down with her for a couple of minutes. Her and this other African-American lady, they both were so compassionate with her with this sit down. She came on. I don't know if she's doing this just to save her job or she's really sorry about being ignorant about the blackface situation. But she seemed, I'm a pretty good judge of character. I'm a pretty good judge of, that fake stuff. But we have some great ones out here that can pull it off. But I believe that she was being sincere. She didn't understand. Maybe it could have been a combination. Maybe those tears are from, I don't know. She could be a great actress. But I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. This is what we do because our hearts are right, African Americans. But Roland Martin and this African American sister came on, sat her down, had a great conversation. Roland's I love that guy. He's so awesome. He's so understanding. And I think him and Megyn are, I don't want to say good friends, but I think they're pretty cordial with each other. They're not enemies. It seems like they have some type of positive rapport with each other. And Roland gave a great point of view. And then his sister gave another great point of view. Two different perspectives. And it was so compassionate. It wasn't mean-spirited. It was somewhat direct. You could hear in Roland's tone. And the sister was more motherly. It was like father and mother talking to a daughter. That type of thing. Explaining, not angry. And that showed so much about who we are as African Americans. I loved every bit of that. And I think that Megyn Kelley came away, well, at least I hope she comes or went away. Like, you know what? I really need to look at myself. I really need to be careful of the things I say and do my homework because you're getting paid $25 million. You shouldn't make a mistake like that. And maybe that's one of the reasons why NBC let her go, because they're like, dude, we're paying you all this top dollar journalistic money, and here you are. Even if you didn't know, you were adamant about it and was totally wrong. I think that played a significant part in getting her off the air, not just because she pushed the agenda, but the fact she didn't even know. And it made NBC look like you're hiring these type of people who come off as they know this, and that, but yeah, they have no clue. You embarrass them by not doing your homework. Before I go, I want to raise this too. You know me, I stay in the middle all the time. That's just me. I just side on reality and truth. But Megyn Kelley, the blackface issue, us African Americans. What do we say when Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy, they put on whiteface? They've done whiteface. Bob from Marketing on Martin's show. I remember that very funny character. White Americans didn't take offense to that. Eddie Murphy, the Jewish man in the barbershop. White Americans didn't take offense to that. But there is a significant difference. Black people weren't allowed to do minstrel shows of whiteface back in the day and portray white people. We probably would have gotten killed or offed. But it's the same premise. We have to kind of be careful when we push certain issues because even if, that blackface situation didn't happen back in the 1800s and they portrayed us like that, I think we still would have a problem with it. But let's not be so sensitive because, like I say, white Americans didn't have a problem with the Bob from Marketing and Eddie Murphy doing the Jewish guy. They laughed. Like I say, I'm just keeping it all the way real. Let's be careful. It's not always what we think. People ask me, do I have a problem with other people dressing up as other races? Honestly, I'm not sensitive like that. If it's mean-spirited, no. But if it's all in like good taste and someone just is trying to portray a person that they like, but it can get really iffy in that area, or you can cross that line. It is what it is. I'm just a comedic guy like that. I have a really high level comedic tolerance. Some people don't. Some people take things a little more seriously, and that's fine. It's who you are, but I'm a broad guy when it comes to that type of stuff. I've been called the N-word by Caucasians, and I look at them like, and shake my head like, dude, I mean, this is so trivial. I've told the person that, and they'll turn red, and they will feel stupid because they realize that that word doesn't hurt me. I don't identify myself with that word. So I've always been that way. I've been called all types of things. But us, African Americans, Megan Kelley, do your homework next time. Hopefully you get your situation rectified and you can get back to work. If not, take it on the chin and move on and just reevaluate your situation. And that will conclude our show for this week. I would like to thank you all for listening. Once again, you can find me, Shobi9T, on Facebook at Shobi9T, and on Twitter at C9T, Instagram at C9T3130. See you next time or next week. Peace.